Cringe, the word that many people are scared to be called by because it represents a threat for them, where they will not be able to join some certain groups and that they will be ignored by some people, or simply they will be judged and mocked for the way they present themselves or for trying to do something that is outside of their comfort zone. And this fear of being called cringe pushes them to try to please everyone around them and live up to their expectations by becoming a performer who changes the mask swiftly with each person they talk to. But what if I told you that being called cringe can be a bless and having the desire to sound cool all the time is so overrated, accepting the fact that there will be people out there who will perceive you as cringe or will simply choose to call you cringe because they are jealous that you are getting outside of your comfort zone and you're choosing to embrace the discomforts that comes with trying something new and you are giving yourself the chance to make mistakes. Some people get triggered by that because they wish that they had the courage to allow themselves to try something new and show part of themselves, and because of their fear of being judged by others, and also because of their belief that not conforming to the image that people project on them by trying to be different and start pursuing what they want is cringe and bad. So when they see someone not trying to conform to that, they label them as cringe. And they say things like, "You're trying too hard, calm down," and they feel the need to put them down to make themselves feel better and superior. And also because of social media that is so obsessed with aesthetics and performance and appearing perfect by acting a certain way, it made the chronically online people scared to get out of that box because they believe that is the only right way to be. They are stuck in the echo chamber of their social media algorithms. And there is this book called Influence: The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini, and in that book there is this chapter that talks about social influence, and in that chapter he talked about how as human beings we are more likely to believe and perceive a behavior as right when we see so many other people doing it. For example, if you are around a lot of people who steal, you will start believing that stealing is a normal thing to do. And this concept of social influence can also be applied in the case of social media. You are so chronically online, feeding your brain this aesthetics to the point that it made you believe if you don't conform to a certain aesthetic, then there is something wrong with you, and people will call you cringe. But you fail to realize that the reason you can't fit a certain an image or an aesthetic is because you are a complex human being, and these aesthetics that are being built by other chronically online people with identity crisis can't capture that complexity and depth in the human character. You just set yourself up for failure when you try to conform to a certain image that was built by your environment or social media. When you decide to start disappointing people who are trying to control you and put you in a box, and you don't care if they call you cringe, you start freeing yourself from other people's expectations and you stop feeling drained and hollow every time you talk to people. For a long time, I thought that because I am an introvert, feeling drained and hollow around certain people was a normal thing, and it made me avoid social interactions. But when I realized that this feeling has nothing to do with me being an introvert, but it actually has to do with the fact that I was performing all the time and I was trying to conform to people's expectations, and I was trying hard to not do something that will make those people look down at me and call me cringe. When you are around people who are judgy and you are chronically online, you become so self-aware about the way you are behaving and your personality, and as a result, you start hiding everything about you that makes you interesting and different, which stops you from meeting people you would have connected with, and you would not have felt the need to perform. You would feel at peace with them, and you can talk about your passions and your opinions without feeling scared of being called cringe. You would finally have the conversations you would love to have instead of just daydreaming about them. We all have something weird about us that makes us human. We all do cringy stuff, but because of this culture of being obsessed with being cool and having this attitude of acting nonchalant and not caring way too much, because if you do care and you love and speak passionately about something, then you are cringe and you are trying way too hard, and you need to calm down because it is not that deep and you are never going to be cool. And because of that, some people, especially Gen Z, they try to imitate others and follow that model of the cool persona, which leads to unsatisfaction and feeling like you are betraying yourself, and also being anxious to get caught and be exposed, because people will discover that all the things that you've said and the way you have been acting has been a lie. It feels like having that internal voice that tells you you are a liar. Everyone will know that you are lying. They are just waiting for the perfect moment to expose you, so you need to try hard to not get caught. When you try to make yourself digestible for everyone, you lose yourself in the process, and you start putting other people on a pedestal, and you value the opinion of people who don't even care about you at the first place. Start having the mindset of, I prefer to be liked by a small group of people than being liked by everyone. Because if you are liked by everyone and you please everyone, that means you don't have a personality. And let me give you an example to understand more. If you look at celebrities who have been popping off last year, especially in the music industry, they all had one thing in common, which is they have a very specific people in mind they want to reach, because they know their personality and the arts that they make will resonate with them and they will get it. And that what actually happened. Them having the audacity to do something different and not being afraid of being called cringe, and for trying, it made them more interesting and it made them stand out. However, if you look at celebrities who try to please everyone and be digestible for everyone, they are usually forgotten because no one can resonate with them. They are just there. And if we take this example and we apply it to our normal lives, you will notice how when you try to make everyone love you and you try to hide that part of you that is cringe for some people, you will notice your relationships are very shallow, and the people that you call your friends are actually just strangers you know, and you guys have nothing in common to talk about and share. And you always have this feeling that you can disappear tomorrow and no one will care because you're just there. And that's one of the worst situations to be in when you are in a friendship or a relationship, because you don't feel like you have a value in these people's lives. But when you're like, I don't want to be liked by everyone, and I don't care if some people call me cringe because of my hobbies or the way I talk, I have specific people in mind who share some values with me, and those are my target people. You end up finding your people. And I noticed that when I slowly started to implement this mindset and I stopped trying to be cool and I gave myself the chance to start talking about my hobbies, sharing my opinions, and getting out of my comfort zone, first of all, I found myself feeling less exhausted when I am around people and less anxious to talk to them, because if you think I am cringe, I don't care. I don't even like you because I don't know you. And second of all, I started finding people that I want to be around, and I feel so much confident about the way I present myself. And even this inspired a friend of mine to allow herself to be cringe and not try to appear perfect. And as a result, we have so much fun when we meet, and we build so many memories that we will look back at. And we feel so relaxed when we are around each other because we are crackheads and both of us know that. So why pretending? And of course, in this journey, I had some uncomfortable situations where some people were very rude or they tried to mock me, and at the beginning it did hurt me, and some of the comments that I got made me consider going back to the old way. But then I remembered that one day we're not gonna be here, and it is not worth it to spend your whole life being someone you're not and being anxious to not fit a group or to lose relationships that do not deserve your energy at the first place. Try to use the concept of social influence that I talked about earlier and start surrounding yourself with people who are not scared to be cringe and make mistakes and get out of their comfort zones, and who are not afraid to share their opinions and their passions, because it will influence you to start doing the same, and it will will become a very normal thing for you. You will stop feeling scared of being seen by other people, and you will not feel the need to perform to please people. And also, try to make a list of all the things that you had the desire to do, but you've stopped yourself from doing it because of being called cringe, and start doing them again even if you get called cringe. And the same thing goes for your hobbies. If you've been called cringe because of it and you love that hobby but you stopped doing it, go back to it and start doing it again, because it will teach you to become okay with being called cringe by some people. Don't wait for the day where you will magically wake up and you will stop caring about other people's opinions to do what you love, because it will not happen, and that is just a form of procrastination that will keep you stuck in a loop. You will get hurt by some comments that you will get, and that is fine. Feel the hurt and do it anyway, in order to heal that shame that you've internalized your whole life. It is going to be hard and uncomfortable, but you know what is also hard is waking up every day feeling like a piece of crap because of the people around you, and feeling the regret of not pursuing what you want, and always being like, oh, what if I only did this? What if I only tried that? What if I only had the courage? What if I only will not solve the problem, and will only keep you in the helpless and victim mindset, and will make you more miserable. I hope this was helpful, and I would love to know your opinions in the comment section about this subject. And if you like this video, I do have another video where I talked about how to stop chasing people who are not interested in you. And if you struggle with chasing people who are not interested in you and you get your feelings hurt because of it, that video will help you.